Retroactive child support payments in Alberta. So first, let's start with child support payments. The whole process of child support payments is to make sure that the parent or parents who have care and control of a child have the funds to be able to look after the child in whatever financial situation the family is in. Now, the courts will look at, is this something that's optional? And the answer is usually no. It is in the best interest of the child that the parents have the ability to finance their day-to-day living, education, extracurricular activities, and whatnot. There is a federal guideline, and that's set up by each province in Canada. It's a federal guideline, but it's adjusted for by province. It's also adjusted for by the number of children people have together, and it's adjusted for what their income is. And so you have these categories that are being adjusted for a number that makes it something that's not usually fought over that much because the government has its guideline. Now, retroactive child support is if one person who's receiving the child support payment suddenly isn't getting it, or if there's a change in circumstance between people. So the court's going to say, hey, you want to go back in the past? Well, what kind of factors are we going to look at? What is it entitled to? You are allowed to go back for retroactive child support. The courts don't like this. They find it a waste of court time. It's parents not being great parents with each other. So they encourage everyone to make sure that every year, each parent gives the other their financial information. So with that financial disclosure, they can adjust for the current year's amount. Now, if a party refuses to give their financial information, the court uses words like, this is blameworthy behavior. So the courts will look down negatively on a party who's refused to give their financial disclosure. It is a key part to the child support, and child support is a key thing for a healthy, happy child. So if there's no disclosure, then the courts are going to go back, demand disclosure. They can have court orders, they can imprison people at an extreme level. They have the ability to get that disclosure and then adjust and retroactively give the money to the parent who should be receiving it. There are other times where there's going to be a change in circumstance. So let's say someone loses their job or they get hurt and they have the reduced ability to earn an income. They can apply to the court for a reduced amount so they're not having to pay as much because they just don't have the money. That can occur retroactively. So someone was in an accident and they just can't go to court for half a year or a year. They can go back to have those retroactive payments made up for. Now, the courts will go back and say, if there's a delay, why was there a delay in terms of applying for retroactive support? They don't want to go back 10 years or 15 years. In some situations, the courts are going to be more open to it. So for instance, in situations where there's family violence and a party is just intimidated or scared to go after the retroactive child support, they're more understanding of that than if the person just didn't feel like it or didn't get around to it. So there might be a different approach and a different result in terms of the retroactive child support. Overall, you want to try and avoid it. Make sure that you every year update each other if there's a change. You can't hold someone to pay money they don't have unless they're intentionally not earning money. But if it's a change in circumstances they can't avoid, then that is something that is reasonable. It happens in life, and the child support or the retroactive child support will be adjusted accordingly. Now, the details of what the retroactive support look like are going to really vary by situation. There are a lot of complex aspects to retroactive child support applications, so make sure you talk to your family law lawyer to make sure that the family law lawyer is able to help you get a good picture if it's worth pursuing or not. Once you have that information, then you can make a good choice for your family.